I arrived then at Logan University and studied chiropractic for 5 years. I then graduated, and then I've been with Pynkerton Group for 18 years. Now, I tell you this story because I still don't know what I'm going to do when I grow up. The most important thing in looking back at what I've just told you is the messages that you carry with you that allow you to continue, and in spite of not being able to see your way. One of the first messages that I recall comes from Sunday school. I can remember Dr. Foster saying this poem, "Good, better, best. Never let it rest until the good gets better and the better gets best." And I remember carrying that message with me, do your best, do your best. And looking back on that message now, I can tell you yet another story about always doing your best. You see, your best is good enough. It'll carry you through. But what we're really talking about is your greatest. And your greatest will never announce that it's time to do your best. It will come only to those who are already doing your best. And that then is what allows you to say, this is your fourth or fifth or sixth major opportunity. One of the messages that I can remember from being a scholarship athlete is use what you got. I'm 5'8". At the time that I began playing football, I was 165 pounds. My skill was quickness, and I used what I had. I knew that I did not have a way to go to college. My father worked for the sanitation department, and my mother was a stay-at-home mom. And then she later, when we were old enough that she could leave the home, she then became a worker for the Grant and Blackford County Welfare Department. So I knew affordability was a piece of the puzzle that I could not put together. My athletic abilities allowed me then to be awarded the full ride football scholarship at Ball State University. And that was a piece of the puzzle that sort of bridged the gap that I could not see. It goes on and on. I want to tell you just a little bit about my interest in international affairs, because that was something that for sure I got a lot of laughs and jokes were made about my wanting to travel and do things internationally. My first opportunity to study another culture came very young. It was Spanish. Now, I had no inclination of studying Spanish at all until I walked past the Spanish room. And then I decided to put my heart into Spanish. Her name was Pat Schmerber. All I wanted to do was to sit next to Pat. Sorry, honey, this was before you. Now, Pat and I don't know what you do today in the 8th grade, but what we did in the 8th grade was simply pass notes before and after class, and that was pretty much dating. Now, here's the trick. Pat was already fluent in Spanish. She just didn't have the formal reading and writing skills, so her notes to me came in Spanish. I wanted to read the notes. Therefore, I became one of the better Spanish students, and my vocabulary shot through the roof because I wanted to read the notes. Now, there's seemingly no piece of the puzzle that fits with my venture to Kenya and working in Marigat. But that was none of my business at the time. I remember as a graduate student meeting another professor who invited me to go jogging with him. I went jogging with him. And it later became apparent after we got to know each other well that being a professor was his part-time job. He actually was the president and owner of Farmers and Merchants Bank in Winterset, Iowa. And our friendship led to discussions that allowed me to understand things that I did not know at that time. He suggested that I sign up for a program called Operation Crossroads Africa, which I did. And I was awarded group leader to take a group to Kenya. So how the pieces of the puzzle fit together are not necessarily your business at this time, but put forth the effort and trust that those pieces will arrive. As I've said, I'm with Pynkerton Group, and we currently have chiropractic services, weight management program for preventive health reasons, and we also have a real estate company. These are things that with those basic skills that I mentioned will allow you to do many of the things that you cannot see right now. I want to leave you with something, a poem by Hazrat Khan, and it goes like this. I asked for strength, and God gave me difficulties to make me strong. I asked for wisdom, and God gave me problems to learn to solve. I asked for prosperity, and God gave me brawn and brain to work. I asked for courage, and God gave me dangers to overcome. I asked for love, and God gave me opportunities. I received nothing that I wanted, but I received everything that I need. Go get them.